Hello, everyone. We'll be talking about the World Health Organization ICD-10 online training. It provides a free online training with 10 chapters. In front of us is the list of modules, as you can see, which are the chapters, and it goes through every information that the user or the learner would need. When you click on Introduction to Classification, it talks about introduction to ICD-9, WHO family of international classifications, what is classification, and everyone's responsibility. So when you press on introduction to classification, it gives you a simple introduction, and then it goes to the next section, and you could press next. And if you want to go back, you want to press the menu. Don't press the X because it actually cancel out the whole tab. But it shows that you completed the introduction, that you went over it, but you haven't completed the WHO Family International Classification because it has other sections. Let's go ahead and go back to the main menu and start with structure. It's going to load a little bit. And it lists out the different volumes. We could start with the first one just to give you. And this is a list of what you will be learning. Let's press next. And then it lists out the 3 volumes. And it will go over each volume. So, volume 1, it explains that it's a alphanumeric listing of diseases, disease groups, and health-related problems. It contains inclusion and exclusion notes and some coding rules. So, for example, let's press on the question mark, and then it gives you an example how, there are 22 chapters in the tabular list and over 11,404 character codes. So to give you an example, volume 1, we won't be able to go through the whole thing, but if we go back to the menu, when you go back to this menu, the structure of classification and how to code, it shows you the estimated time. So keep in mind, every unit that you start, it will give you an estimated time. So for this one, to go over everything, tell the summary, it'll take about 180 minutes. Let's go back to the main menu. It takes a bit to load. This is summary. And let's try to go back to the main menu. Okay. I'm going to go back into the tool. I think it's an error at my end. And it will ask you, if you do go back, if you want to continue. We're going to say no in order to continue because we don't want our previous work to be deleted. And as you can see, everything was saved. It says access not completed. So let's continue on and go to chapter 1. So for chapter 1, it shows 140 minutes. In order to complete it, let's start going over the introduction and objectives. Within the introduction of the module, it will show you the 3 objectives that you will learn. And then chapter 1 is certain infectious and parasitic diseases. And then let's go back to the main menu and let's do overview. And it gives you the overview of the different certain infectious diseases. Let's press this. Alright, let's go back to the main menu. And again, X will cancel out the whole tab. If we do review for chapter 1, it gives you a quick review. Let's go to the next. And it would say here are 4 people around the world. Each has been diagnosed with different infectious diseases. Read what this is, then try answering the following question. So we have, this is Zahir. He has hepatitis caused by a viral infection. This is Pierre. He has influenza. This is Adele. She has human immune deficiency disease, HIV. And then this is Marie. She is pregnant and has tuberculosis. Would you use chapter 1 to code these diseases? Let me highlight the question for you. We did not go over chapter 1. I am just skimming through the summaries and information to give you an idea of how the training would be like. So just for, practices and examples, um, I would say no. And then let's check our answer, and it'll be that's right. This chapter is entitled Certain Infectious and Parasitic Diseases. That means some diseases caused by infections are coded to other chapters of the IC10. Interesting. So let's press next. And it would ask you, you should not use chapter 1 to code 2 of these people. Which one? Select the people. So let's select. You could pause the video, or I'll just give you guys about, let's say, 5 seconds to decide. Okay, I would go with Pierre for influenza, and I will go with Marie, the tuberculosis. And then let's see if that's correct, and it is. And I like how it also show the suggested code for respiratory infection. So that's quite interesting. We could continue on, but it will be more questions, and it's very interactive to make sure you're on the right track and you understand the content. There's a self-check test, exercises, and then lastly, the summary of everything you learned. And then there's another self-check test for medical science. And I like how when I press on summary, it shows completed because there was only one page for summary. And let's go back to the main menu, and then you have chapter 2, 3, 4, and it's a repeated pattern. So if you press on neoplasms, it's going to load a bit, and you could see neoplasms is 120 minutes, and you see introduction objectives quite similar to chapter 1, but the difference would be for medical science, behavior, cell type. Let's go back, and it's quite error my end. Let's go back like this. Mm. Alright, we went back, and then I also went on the rules and guidelines. It gives you rules and guidelines for morbidity and mortality of coding. I also did certification. If you press on certification, it shows you the overview using that certificate, and there's exercises as well. So it's quite interesting, and it also shows it takes 40 minutes. So this is a quite interesting module to look at. And you can see all these are press accessed and these are press accessed. And I would love to go over multiple modules. Let's press next. And you could see 11 to 22 modules are left. So it's quite a lot of work, and it takes some time. It takes a lot of time, as you can see. Thank you for listening to my demo.